Hello, everyone. It is Saturday afternoon here on the east coast of Australia. No matter where you're watching from, I hope that you are well and happy and all the good things. I see we've got a few people here already, so that is fabulous. Hi, Sunny. You were waiting early today, and Margaret. Margaret, you're usually waiting early, but Sunny was today too. How are you going, Marion? Back from your travels? Did you have a fantastic time? I hope you did. Okay, you're going to hopefully craft as well. So Marion's saying she's going to watch and hopefully craft along as well. And that is the idea. So I hope that I'm moving at an okay pace that everyone can play along. If you wish to watch and then maybe watch a replay later and then do your crafting, that's completely fine as well. I know a lot of people prefer to watch the first one, just watch and then come back and replay it later and craft. I've got lots of things to share with you today. We are doing masculine cards. Here in Australia, Father's Day is at a different time to other parts of the world. It's actually the first Sunday in September every year. And so we're gearing up for Father's Day here. But, 109, Marsha, that's so hot. Very hot, not like that here at all. We're at the end of our winter here, and the days have been absolutely beautiful. So we could be in for a hot summer, but we've had beautiful, beautiful, warm days. We use Celsius here, so we're at about, I'd have to do a conversion. If anyone feels like converting, that's great. Yeah, we're all happy stampers, but it's only about 23 degrees here, which probably sounds cold, but in Celsius that's a beautiful day. Gorgeous weather we've been having in the low 20s. So how are you, Katrina? Nice to see you. Hey, Nairi and Jody. Hey, Jody, we missed you last night, Miss Bling Queen. Hello, Lou, all the way from Alabama. Is it hot there too? It seems to be hot everywhere in America at the moment from all the friends I have over there that have been talking about it. Hello, Louise. Nice to see you. You're having a day off. Hooray. You need those. Goodness me. You've worked so hard for so long. You need some days off. Nice to have you with us, Kelly. Thank you so much. Hey, Anne. Nice to see you. Yep, your name comes up. Your name comes up just fine because we're on StreamYard. So it works just fine. You don't need to worry about telling me. It's only if you're commenting on Facebook. Facebook doesn't always show your name. So that's the reason why. But everyone's showing up tonight. Hey, Rose, how are you? Nice to see you. Okay, feeling the love, says Jody. That's good. That's good. All right. So I just wanted to have a quick chat to say hello and wish you all well while people are coming on. We're already up to about 30 people, so I might get started pretty quickly. We are doing, like I said, masculine cards. I figured with Father's Day just around the corner, it was a good time to do this particular theme. Plus, people ask me all year round, can you please make a masculine card? I have to make a card for, XYZ man in my life, and I don't know how, or I don't know what would be good. So I'm going to show you a number of cards today, but we're going to make one card, which is a fun fold card here in this particular session. And I hope that you will play along. Now, the week before, usually a week, maybe slightly more than a week before this event, I post all the supplies needed on my blog. And that blog address, I'll put it up on the screen for you so you can write it down if you would like to, or take a screenshot. It's lhiggins.blogspot.com. And on that address, at that address, you'll find usually about a week before this craft along all the supplies listed for you, so that if you don't have a supply pack, the supply packs go out to all the people who ordered over $60 with me last month. If you don't have a supply pack, you can still prepare the pieces yourself and actually craft along if you wish. So that is the way that works. And if you don't, like I said, if you just want to watch or you just want to chat, that's completely fine as well. We have a great community of girls here. So I'll just take that banner down. We have the most wonderful group of ladies who watch these videos, and I'm so proud of this little community. They are just the best. So I hope, okay, Katrina did the conversion. 23 degrees Celsius is 73.4 Fahrenheit, which is perfect weather, just beautiful. So for those in the US who are watching, and we have a couple of you here today. Hey, Lani. Hi, Marie. Hey, Leslie. You struggle with masculine cards. A lot of people tell me that, and that's why I'm doing it this month, because I get that all the time. People say, I don't know how to do masculine cards. What do I do? And I think it's because they are quite different usually to what we would do. Maybe, we ease off on the flowers and the lace and all the feminine touches, and the bows and things like that, and go in a different direction with masculine cards. So it's nice to actually look at that as its own theme this month. Oh, you were on Facebook by mistake. I could still see you there though. Oh, you know what? That's okay. You can go with a similar, like if you've got grey granite. And the only bit of the stamp set that I used a little bit of the He's All That, but you could add any sentiment set. So, for example, if you don't have a specifically masculine kind of set, and there are a number, let's switch over to the desk and let's have a quick talk about that. All right, so here's my desk for you. In our catalogue, okay, in this catalogue, we have a number of sets that I think work really well. I was chatting to a friend the other day and she said, oh, we don't have much for masculine sets. And I have to disagree. I think we actually have quite a bit. Now, we have a set. This is something you may or may not know. There's little colours here at the top. So then this first colour, like that to me looks like sweet sorbet. And then we've got this one that looks like wild wheat. And if you keep going, this is the love, thanks, and support section. When you get to the little lemon lolly or yellow section here, okay, this is called hobbies and recreation. So your catalogue is divided up into themes, if you like. And the hobbies and recreation stamp sets have some fantastic masculine cards and elements. Okay, so this one, for example, is the Go On Fishing or Let's Go Fishing suite. The stamp set is called Go On Fishing and the matching dies. I love that it's got a tackle box. We're not using this today, but you certainly could. If you've got this one, you could use one of these greetings like Happy Father's Day or Happy Retirement on a card. These would be great. But we are going to be using the paper though. Okay, now if you don't have this DSP, you could use anything that has similar colors. Okay, I've only used two pieces. I use this one that looks a bit like netting. Okay, and then I've also used the stripy one, and those are in Pebbled Path, but you could use any of the neutrals. Basically, one of the things that we need to talk about, I guess the most important thing when it comes to masculine cards is getting your colors right. Okay, your colors need to be generally more neutral, but not exclusively. And I think a pop of color is a fantastic thing. It doesn't have to be, but if you lean more towards the neutral, then you are going to get it right 99% of the time with masculine cards. So the first thing to be mindful of when you're making a masculine card is color. Okay, that is the first thing we'll talk about. Hey, Susan, nice to see you. Nature, yep, that suits masculine cards. And if you think about that, that usually has a lot of neutral colors. We've got blues and greens and browns in our outdoors kind of sets. So that will always work for you. So thinking about color is always good. There are a number of elements that I think work well for masculine cards. One is color. Okay. The next is the actual elements themselves. So thinking about themes. What is the guy in question? What's he into? Okay. Not every guy is into fishing. All right. Not every guy is into gaming. We've got all kinds of things over the next few pages. We've got pizza. That works for a lot of guys. I know that. We've got a scientific set that's got, Bunsen burners and all that kind of stuff in it. We've got a construction zone set, which is more of a kiddie set, but you could kind of make it for any guy if you treated it the right way. We've got this next destination set for someone who likes to travel. So this is really looking at, okay, what are the hobbies of this person? Okay, I think it is easier to make a masculine card if you have someone specific in mind. But if you don't, that's still okay. This one I'm going to be using the Love This Guy and the Wishing You a Happy Father's Day. I'm going to use those today, but you don't have to. You can use, a happy birthday or whatever it might be, okay? I did have someone comment on my video a few weeks ago that, they were concerned that their father wasn't around anymore and, they didn't like making Father's Day cards because it made them sad. I would challenge you to think a little differently if you can. I understand that thinking, but if you don't have a father in your life that you want to make a Father's Day card for, there might be other men in your life that would still like a Father's Day gift or card. So it might be your son, or it might be somebody that who's a great dad, or maybe your husband is a great father to fur babies, or lots and lots of different occasions types of people that could appreciate a card on Father's Day, even if they're not a dad themselves. So, there could be it might not be your dad. It might be other dads. Okay, so I think the oceanfront set, I haven't used this today. I was so tempted to because, as many of you know, this is one of my favorite sets and I love to play with this style of watercolor set. So that's also a great one. And like was mentioned before, I think, you know, it's a nature / outdoorsy kind of thing. Same with the Grassy Grove. I probably, this little guy here could be for anyone who's into astronomy, not astrology. Whoops, I get those two confused. We've got our motorbike. Obviously, you know, some of these are so obvious. The On the Ocean set is fabulous with the boats. This is very much a dad-themed set. It's got a Happy Father's Day and some really lovely sentiments and pictures of dads, particularly looking at dads. Bikes and skateboards, scooters. This one, not so much. This is probably, although you might have a guy who likes to, I don't know, a guy who likes to sew or knit, maybe. So who knows? We're going to use this one a little bit in the alternative cards that I've got for you today, the Enjoy the Rhythm set, someone who's into music, and this one who's in someone who's into a tipple, perhaps. And there's also one here for gamers. All right, so I'm going to be going through and using quite a few of these, but if you check out the Hobbies and Recreation, the yellow section of your catalogue, and go through, you might notice there's lots of different ones. So the accessories and more have got a blue tag. The Artistic Expression has a green one. I think that's Lemon Lime Twist, that colour, and so on. So as you go through, there's different sections of the catalogue. It's divided up by colour. Okay. I've used the Oceanfront for other scenes too, Nicole. I love that set. It's just so beautiful. Yep. It's fabulous, and you can create all sorts of fun things with them. I might pull that one out and make it in one of my live videos again soon because it's one of my favorites and I never ever get tired of it. Poor Jodie, you had asthma and that's why you weren't with us last night. Well, we can't hear you wheezing. We'll just take your word for it. Jodie told me she sounds like Darth Vader's mother, so that's probably not what you want to sound like, right? Oh, that's a great idea. So Susan made Father's Day cards for a local nursing home. Fantastic idea. What an excellent. And Anne said she could see the panda in the tree as a relaxed day card. Fantastic idea. Hello there, Kim. How are you going? Hi, Sharon. Oh, we've got such a good crowd today. So happy to see you all. Awesome, awesome. Right. Well, let's get to today's card. I'm going to play around a bit. We are going to be using the truck. Okay, now if you don't have this stamp set, do not worry. Okay, if you receive the supply packs from me, we're actually going to be making trucks with the punch. Okay, so let me grab the punch and I want to show you how this works. Can you sort of see it there? It is a fantastic punch. So it's a truck builder punch, and any of our builder punches means it's going to punch out several shapes and you put them all together to create something. So that's what they mean by a builder punch. Those of you who got the supplies, okay, they'll have come in a little bag just like this, and there's actually a separate bag inside that's got some small pieces just so they don't all get messed up and you don't lose them. We'll set that aside for now. And then we've also got this one here, okay, which is all the main pieces. So I'm sure somebody else would have designed this style of card before. I actually don't know. I'm just calling it a double flap card. So I'm not really sure. Somebody might know if there's an official name, but I sat down and worked out this myself, just hoping that it would be just what you guys would find useful. I'm just thinking these pieces need to be part of there. So really in this bag should just be some trucks. And shall we make the trucks first? Let's make the trucks first. All right, I'm going to pull them out, but I'm also going to backtrack a little bit and show you how I punched it, because to make the trucks, you actually need several pieces, okay? If you have a look here on our, I'm trying to make it, okay, so that we can see it because it reflects whatever's above it. So we've got the main body of the truck. We've got the circle here, which is actually the tires. And then we have these little guys here, which are the mud guards, okay? So when we put it together, these three are going to be the main pieces. And then there's a fourth bit up here, and I'll show you how to use this. This is actually the cutout for the window. All right, so let me show you how I did this. All right, I did one car is Pretty Peacock and one car is Real Red, but you could make them any colors you wanted, okay? And I'm going to just show you how I did it, okay? Always when you're punching, punch upside down, because that way you can see exactly where you're going and not run over the edge, that kind of thing. So I want to punch my first punch through, and I'm going to do all 4 of the bits, and you can see it kind of spits at you. And there I've got, okay, a truck, I've got a tire, and I've got the window cut out, and I've got a mud flap. Now these I don't want these in this color. I would like my my wheels to be black, so I'm actually going to use a black piece for those, and I'm going to just cut it. So I'm just cutting the wheel, the tire, okay, 1, and then move it up and do a second one. All right, because I need 2. 1 and 2. All right. Now I've only got 1 mud flap, so I'm going to need a second mud flap. But I don't want to waste all this paper by cutting a whole new truck. So what I do is this space created here or just here, I can use for the mud flap. And it doesn't matter. I just want to get this bit here. So it doesn't matter what's going on up here. And that way you waste less paper. Okay, so we've got 2 mud flaps and the truck. All right. Now, what about the window? All right, so the window's a little bit challenging, okay, because, and let me show you here. I'm going to show you an easy way to do it, okay. This actually goes in. You can see it's got like the sloping edge where the windshield would be. Okay, this is going to go in here, but I can't reach it because this is too small. Can you see that? Sorry, whoops, I'm not in the view properly. It's too small. I can't fit that in, hold on to this and actually get it in there to where it needs to be. So what I do is I get myself a Post-it note, and I'm going to use my Post-it note as a handle. I'm going to put this onto, and this makes this so much more user-friendly, okay? And then I'm going to put this in here. But there's still a problem. All right, so now I can reach into where it needs to go. Can you see that? So it's in the right place. I'm just going to see, is there? I don't know. I'm just going to see if I can get the light a little bit better because it's maybe a little hard to see. Whoop. All right, that's as many lights, and I'm also sitting in front of an open window, so I don't know that I can get it any better than that. Oh, look at you girls all chatting to each other. Yeah, we don't like people who can't breathe properly. Breathing is a necessary skill, and you want to make sure you do a really good job of it, right? So, yeah, I wonder what triggered it, Jody. That's really uncomfortable for you. Yep. Yeah, on the Ventolin. All right, so I've stuck this here on the repositionable part, so I can just take it off later. Okay, so that's simple. That's easy. But what I want to do is I want to have, it's hard to know how far to push it in to get my window in the right spot. So very simple solution. Grab yourself a pen or a pencil, doesn't really matter because you're not going to see it anyway. And we're going to put a hole, a spot there where the window needs to be. All right. You could actually even draw a window on if you wanted to. It's going to end up looking like Maida from from Cars. All right. So I don't know if you can see that. Can we see that? I kind of driven it. I've kind of drawn it on. All right. So I just want to make sure that that's properly on here. I'm going to insert it in here. And now I've got my dot in the center. Can you see it? It's very hard to see. There we go. The dot's in the center, and now I can punch it, and I know that it's going to be in the right place. Okay. So now my truck has a window and looks so much better with a window, don't you think? All right. So that's my tip of how to get this in the right place. And clearly I've used exactly this technique to do all of the ones that had to be sent out. Okay, so they've all got their windows cut out. I put a little dot on there and then punched it out. Okay, you can use pencil, you can use anything at all, but you just need to mark it so you know where to put. And you know what, if it's not completely exact, it doesn't actually matter. And I know for all of you people who love things to be exact and straight and right, you're probably going horrified. But the reason I say that is if it's a tiny bit wonky, it kind of looks like, you know, an old beat up farm truck, which is kind of fun. Okay. It is a fun set with the punch. Absolutely. So I'm glad you guys are sorting out the problems of the world there. Okay, that's awesome. All right, so I've got another truck now that I'll just set that to one side and might use it later because I've got the one that's in the pack. All right, so it doesn't really matter, but what we're going to do is I'm going to put my wheels on first, my tires on first. Okay, so they're going to get lined up. So see how you've got the curvy part of the punch here? Okay, those two are going to get lined up. Okay, so let's put a dimensional. You can use black, you can use white, it really doesn't matter, on the back of each one. So 1 and 2. I had to say goodbye to my boys before I left because Ben's going to a thing for his course tonight. He's helping set up a sound system at a jazz festival up in Newcastle, and he's getting a lift, so he'll be gone by the time I'm finished this video. So I'll probably see them drive past the window in a minute. Okay, so now we have our tires, okay, which looks kind of good, okay, but the last thing to put on is our mud guards. All right, so when you put the mud guards on, I think it really makes the whole thing look completed. Can you see that? How good does that look? Straight away, it elevates it. So what we're going to do here is we just need to stick these on the very top of the tire. So I use Tombow. You can use whatever glue you like. I just used a tiny dot of Tombow here and another one here. And then I just pop that on there so that it's at the top. And then this one goes on this side. And the good thing about Tombow is if you do, you can shift it into the right place as needed. I'm going to hold this up so hopefully you can see it nice and clear. Doesn't it look cute? Isn't it a cute little truck? Ooh, jazz trombone. Well, a musical set would work for him. That set, the Enjoy the Rhythm set, there's got some musical notes and some fun things in it. Even it doesn't have a trombone though, I'm sorry. I think this is super cute. All right. Now, the other thing is I've got one truck going this way and I want to have the other one going the other way. Oh, have I even showed you the project yet? Oh my gosh. I don't think I have. Ta-da. Here it is. All right. So we've got one truck going this way and one truck going that way. Okay. And when you look here, I've also put a little truck inside. Now, this is optional. If you don't have the stamp set, obviously, you're not going to do this. But this is the bit where you could write your greeting anyway. And the little flaps go over like this. Okay. And it is normal card size, so it fits in a standard size envelope. And this is, I'm going to show you how to put it together. It's actually really easy. But the hardest part of the whole thing is putting the truck together. So that's what we're doing now. All right, so we've got one truck going that way. The other one's going to go this way. So they're going in opposite directions, okay? A stamp set with a trombone would be good. I think musical sets are always popular. We also have musical and embossing folders. So at the moment, we've just talked about elements and we've talked about color, but I'm going to talk about texture in a little bit. And that's item number 3 that you want to consider when you're doing your die cards. So do you like it? I'm so glad. I should have showed you already, but this is the card. So all the pieces that you have in your pack are going to help you make this card, or you might be cutting up the supplies from scratch. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, let's do our red one. It's the same. So I'm going to do 2 tires, 1 and 2, and then we're going to have our truck. I find it easier to put the tires on first and then add your mud flaps last. I think that's easier. That's just my personal preference. But, you know, you can experiment and see which you think is easy, but that's just the way I like to do it. And actually, once you've done it a couple of times, it's really fast. It doesn't take very long. You know, once you got the hang of, you know, how to cut the window out and all that kind of stuff. But once I started marking my window with pen or pencil, it became really easy. All right, so let's pop that on the top of the tire there, and the other one on the top of the other tire. And there you go. You have another truck. All right, cute trucks. We love them. All right, so you can buy the punch by itself. The punch is $39 here in Australia, or you can buy it as a bundle and get the set as well. And I think from memory it's $72 something for the whole set. It's available. It's not in a catalogue. It's available in the online store, okay? Or you can reach out to your demonstrator and she'll be able to get it for you, but you won't find it in the catalogue if you go looking, okay? All right, so I've got my trucks. I'm actually going to take the extra step and I'm going to put my trucks. Now, you could just put them flat onto here, but I did actually use dimensionals. So if we turn it over, on the back, you can use black or white. Doesn't really matter. Just put a couple of dimensionals behind our truck. Now, this punch shape is a vellum circle. Yes, I know, it's a vellum circle. And it is cut with a 2-inch punch. Okay, so that's the one that you'll need. Once again, this is not in a catalogue. This one is online. So if you want the 2-inch punch, I think circle punches are something they should always have, really. But we haven't had them for a while, and now they're back in the online store. We've had, I'm not sure if the 1 3/4 is sold out, but last time I checked, the 2-inch was still there. So I'm putting each of these onto a vellum circle. Can you see that? As you don't have to have the circles. I just thought it made them stand out a little bit more, and I kind of like that. All right, so we've done our little trucks. They're sitting on a vellum circle. Let's actually put the card together. You'll also have these couple pieces. This label here is for you to put your greeting on, your sentiment, whatever it is. Now, I've used the wishing you a happy Father's Day from the He's All That set. If you do not have that one, you could use happy birthday. You could use any greeting that you think works well, okay? It doesn't have to be that one. And you don't have to use the size label either if you don't want to. All right, let's put the rest of the pieces together. All right, so the pebble path piece, and you could use any neutral color, okay? So if you have crumb cake, if you have, what else would be good? Soft suede is now retired, but that would work. Grey granite would work. Smoky slate would work. But the colors that go with this paper is the Gone Fishing. The Let's Go Fishing DSP, and that is Pebble Path. Okay, so I've used Pebble Path, which is one of the new in colors, and I think it's really nice. And then I have a layer of white and a layer of black behind that. So we'll keep the white just for a moment. Actually, you know what? We're going to put it all together because it won't matter. All right, so these 3 layers all go one on top of the other. But before we put this down, okay, so I'm going to put the white down onto the black. But before we put the black onto the pebble path, we're going to pause because we want to stick our flaps on first. All right, so I'm going to put the white down. And then we'll have a quick look at our flaps. Now, the flaps that those of you with the supply packs have actually got score lines in the end. I've actually not done that because I just wanted to show anyone who doesn't have supply packs how to go about that. You're going to be putting it in at the 1 centimeter. If you don't have, I haven't done the imperial measurements for this yet, but it's probably going to be about 1/2 an inch roughly. Okay, so 1/2 an inch and 1 centimeter are very close to each other. So 1 centimeter of this. Now this piece is 14.8 long, which is the same as the card-based piece. Okay, and then by scoring it at the 1 centimeter mark, I've just made it a centimeter shorter. So now it's, instead of 14.8, it's now 13.8. All right, so that's how this piece goes. And then we have these 2 pieces of the Pebble Path paper from the Let's Go Fishing set. Another set, if you like this color, there's also the in color papers. Oh, it's a good masculine color. I know it is. It really is. But I just think Pebble Path is a lovely color all round. Okay, so I'm going to put Now one piece is going to go, these are going to end up on here, okay? So there's a little bit of a border here at the side, and then this one is going to go this side, and there'll be a little, so they almost touch in the middle, okay? So you got a little bit of a border around, but they're almost going to touch in the middle. So then this piece is going to go on here, and this piece is going to go on here. It doesn't matter which one goes on the top and which one goes on the bottom. Sorry, I just have a cramp in my finger and I just need to rub that out. Anyone else get cramps in their fingers? That's something I use magnesium spray, and that really helps with cramps. And I get cramps at night time quite badly, so I usually put it on before I go to bed at night. But I haven't done it for the last couple of nights, and now I'm getting cramps in my fingers. Anyway, that's just the thing, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this stripy piece here. So you can go ahead, if you have a bone folder, use your bone folder to flatten that down, and then we're going to pop that, flatten the score line, and then we're going to pop this right there in the center. All right, so you've got one like that. The other one is going to go, so this one, the flap is going to go from the left, and this one, the flap is going to go with the score line to the right. Okay, so this one is going to go onto this piece. If you use a bone folder and flatten down these folds, you will find that the card flaps work much better, and the card will sit flat rather than sort of popping up where you don't want it to. There's Tombow. I need to slide that into the right place. And let's use our bone folder over that end. All right, so this is going to go around the black. Now I could have just done this, just so you know, I could have just done this with the white straight onto the pebble path and then put these flaps behind the white, but I added the extra layer of black because it just makes it the whole card a bit stronger. Okay, so if you're wondering why I did that, that is why. Now, when it comes to adding the flaps, you're going to need to put the glue here on this inside of the flap so it sticks to the back of the card. All right, and you might want to put them in position first. You can use any glue, but I really like, for something like this, which I need it to be very, very strong, I actually prefer tape. Okay, so I'm going to put this so there's a little bit of a gap there, and I'm going to move that down a little bit because I want there to be a similar gap at the side as there is at the top and the bottom, similar. All right, so it's going to look like that. Okay, so let's do this one first. It doesn't matter which one you do first, and I'm going to put my tape. The problem of using Tombow for something like this is it takes a moment to dry, and I think that means you feel like you need to hold it in place to make sure you get good bond. Seal would actually be better than Tombow on the back of this, but I think tape is the best of all. Okay, so now I'm going to put this just behind there, and I'm going to push this down. So can you see now I have a little bit of a border all the way around. I'm going to do the same now on the inside of this flap. And let me position this so that it is just above the one here at the bottom. I want them to kind of touch but not flap over each other. All right, so this actually, now you can see how the flaps work. Can you see that? Could you make a card by layering two truck pieces in opposite directions? I don't know. That's really interesting. I never thought of that. Oh, so Judy's saying in the USA it's out. I'm so sorry. Here in Australia it's still available last time I checked. So and of course the problem we have with creating for a class like this is the fact that you know, you have to hope that whatever you use is still going to be available for sale when you do the live. But if it's not, I would still have to forge ahead. Okay. All right. So this is right now for me to pop it on. I could put another layer of dimensionals under there if I wanted to, or if I don't want to do that, I could just pop it straight down with some Tombow, which is what I'm going to do in this case, but totally up to you. You could make it a little higher and all right, so I've got my truck almost to the end of that flap, and you can see the circle is overlapping this flap a little bit. And that's actually good because it helps keep the flaps down. One doesn't sit up. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. You got yours early, Judy. Yeah, good on you. That's the thing with the online exclusives. If you really love something, you probably want to grab it early because more so than, see, a catalog, you know, at least they're guaranteeing, normally, generally, unless something happens, they're guaranteeing the availability of the stamp set or the set or the bundle or whatever it is while the catalog is live. We know that once the retired list goes up, as soon as it sells out, it's gone. But as long as the catalog's still before that retired list comes out, as long as the catalog is in its earlier stages or getting towards the end, you should be safe in ordering most things. We do have a stock list that tells us when something's getting low in stock. That's handy. Okay, there's still a few things I want to do to this card. Okay, I've got, you can see I've written love this guy here. Now this is from the He's All That set, and we've also got the Wishing You a Happy Father's Day. So let me grab those. That's this one here. There's the Wishing You a Happy Father's Day. There's the Love This Guy. So I'm going to show you how I did this. If you don't have this set, like I said, this is optional, this one here. You don't have to have it. And you could use any greeting you like here, perhaps a birthday, or we have other Happy Father's Day stamps in the collection. So I'm just going to pop this onto a block like so, and I'm going to use Pretty Peacock ink, which, let me see, where's my Pretty Peacock ink? There it is. And then I've got some other cards to show you which are part of the tutorials this month. Now I've recorded 3 out of 4 of the videos for the alternate projects, but I've got one that's still got to be completed. There's mine. There it is. I want to do this on here. Now, if you want to, when it comes to putting a sentiment on a label like this, it can be tricky. The easier thing to do is to stamp first and then cut it out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my grid paper and I'm going to make sure that my stamp is actually straight. And it is. It's pretty good. All right. So I'm going to, I've got my Pretty Peacock ink here. And because my stamp is straight, if I put this stamp straight on my grid paper, I should be able to get it straight onto the label as well. You know, in a perfect world, right? It's not too bad. I went tiny bit high, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. That's going to go over this side, and let me put a couple of dimensionals behind that. 1 and 2. And like so. And then this one is the Love This Guy, which is also part of the same set. I'll just use another block the same size. We do have a smaller block, which I just didn't see when I opened my drawer then, that would fit this one. Look how nice that stamps. That's a really nice stamp. All right, this one, we don't have a die for this set, but and if you're wondering what die I've used here, this is actually the smallest of the corner side. Sorry, is it Countryside in Countryside Corners dies. That's what it is. So that's from our annual catalogue as well, and I use that label quite a bit. It's a no fuss kind of a label. Okay, there's no stitching, there's no. And that's something you want to think about sometimes with guy cards as well, is no fuss. While I'm cutting this out, remember I said there was a number of things to think about when you're doing a masculine card. So the first one I said was colour, and then particular elements can be useful. The next one is texture. Okay, texture is a really big deal on a guy card. Now you can get texture from DSP, from embossing folders. Our subcategory of texture would be fiber, because you can add texture with fiber as well. So knots, rope, twine, string, those sorts of things also are fabulous. Okay, now this card doesn't have any texture provided by embossing folders or string or anything like that, but it does have a bit of fiber here. Sorry, well, yeah, fiber and texture in the DSP. Okay, and even the stripes are not straight stripes; they're kind of textury kind of stripes. Can you see that? All right, so we've got a bit of fiber and texture going on there. The other thing, the fourth element that I think can really make a die card come together is metal. And you're thinking, metal? Really? Yes. There are a number of ways to add metal. We have some foil papers. You could use like metallic embossing. You could use elements. Now this card, I did use some elements. Let's just put that there. All right, just like that. Okay, the elements that I used on this one, I used the rustic metallic dots. I didn't include these in the supply packs, but if you have them, there are 2 packs that I think are must-haves if you're going to be making masculine cards. One of these, the rustic metallic dots, because they go with just about everything. You could also use the brush metallic dots, but I think these are even more masculine and go with more things. The other one is the black matte dots. Black matte dots are fantastic for die cards, and they go on all sorts of things. I have used them on some of my alternate designs today. I think they look so, so good. All right, I'm going to add little rustic metallic dots. You could add big ones, small ones, however you like them to go. I'm just using my take your pick tool to put mine where I want them. And let's add another one there. I've got a metallic dot stuck to my finger. Okay, so these are great. So if you're looking for a really good masculine set, I'd recommend these, or the metallic, or the matte dots. The black matte dots are great as well. Those 2 are my strongest recommendations at the moment. Okay. You could. All right, so we've got the outside of the card done. On my original, I did actually, and you don't have to do it. There's some clouds up here, and I don't know if it's meant to be clouds or if it's meant to be exhaust smoke, and I used mine as exhaust smoke. I cut out a little bit, stamped it with smoky slate, and then cut around it to look like a bit of exhaust. But you don't have to do that. I'm not going to bother about that today. However, if you have the stamp set, and if you don't need to have anything inside, or you could, it's completely up to you. But here's something you could do with the stamp set if you have it. All right, I've actually stamped a truck on the inside of mine. I'm going to use Pebble Path ink again, and I'm going to pop this on my block. So this is the outline of the truck. And then I can color the truck just with a stamp, which I love. And my husband's going past the window and I'm waving at him. And my son, there they go. All right, so I'm going to colour in Pebble Path. So let me show it to you how it looks. All right, so you don't have to do this, but I did Pebble Path outline. All right, then I did the Pebble Path ground, and I also stamped the tree in Pebble Path. The other thing is, you might see that the tires are black. Okay, you could colour those with a what will we say? You could colour them with a blend, with blends markers perhaps, but you don't have to. You could actually just use this as a stamp that colours them in as well, and I'll use that today. Oh, I'm going to do my outline first. Okay, so my outline is the Pebble Path. All right, and I'm going to put my truck kind of in here a little bit from the edge. There they go. And then I've got my Lost Lagoon truck. Now you could have a truck any colour you like, but Lost Lagoon I like because it's kind of a light-ish colour, a little bit lighter than Pretty Peacock, and it's got a grey tone to it as well. So actually mine looks like it might have been beat up a little bit, but hey, that's okay. All right, then we've got this little long skinny one here. Let me see if I have a Here we go. This is the one I wanted. This is G block, little tiny one. Okay, I'm going to do that in Pebble Path as well. And I'm going to put this just under my truck so it doesn't look like it's floating in the air. And I'm going to layer that again, just like that. Okay, so now my truck looks like it's on a road or something. And then I've got another block here, and I'm going to do the outline of my tree, also in Pebble Path. And that's going to go just behind here. If you wanted to, there's also a little tiny weenie. It's so little grass stamp. Okay, and you could do that. What color? Shall we do it Mossy Meadow? I didn't do this originally, but I think it looks rather cute. And we can put that under the tree. Hang on a second. Because I've already got this on, really ideally we would want to stamp this before we stick it all together. But that's okay. I'm just going to be a little bit sneaky and use a piece of paper. Actually, you could even use a Post-it note. Post-it note, cardstock, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to pop that right there so I don't end up stamping on this bit. And I'm just going to have that. A bit of grass there behind the tree. It's cute, huh? Do we like that? All right. So the stamp that I was talking about that's got the wheels is this funny looking one that looks like a pair of eyes, actually. All right. So let me pop that on a block. And I'm going to use this. This is optional, what I'm showing you now. You don't have to do any of this. Like I said, you could use a black marker and come in and do your tires. Or I can colour it with my stamp that matches. All right, that's super easy to do. You like the truck grounded? Yeah, I don't like them looking like they're floating in the air. All right, so the last thing I want to do here is colour my tree. And I just want it to be a light green, so I'm just going to add some, you could either stamp off a colour, or I'm just going to use seafoam, which is super light. And all right, let's come in here and add that. All right. So just some simple little bit of stamping there on the inside, just having some fun with our truck. Okay. If you do, yeah, it's a ute. Exactly. If you do not have this truck stamp set, you can obviously ignore this part and still put it together with the punch, okay, just having the trucks here. Or if you wanted to, you could actually do the truck, the punch out a truck, like the extra one like I did, and put it together but without the dimension, and then just put it inside and have your punch truck stick that down, okay? So you could still have a truck inside, but I wouldn't be putting dimensionals on it and so forth, because otherwise your card's not going to sit flat. So if you want it to be flat, just stick it all down flat. So the tires and the hubcap and everything, but just attach it without dimensionals. I hope that makes sense. And that's our card today. Do we like it? Do you think this is a good card for a guy? I like the fact that it's a little bit interesting. It's a little bit different. It's not your standard card. And so a guy who you give this to is going to know that, yeah, you went to a little bit of trouble and you made it just for him. And I think that's what they want to see, right? That's what they want to know, that you thought about them when you were putting this together. Okay, so you can write here if you wanted to. Of course, if you have done more stamping on here and not left any room for the writing because you can't control yourself with your stamping, you could always attach a piece to the back. Now, I haven't put this all together yet because I've still got my Pebble Path piece, which I have misplaced. What have I done with it? Ah, here it is underneath my stamp set. All right, so see how these pieces are still in the back? We're going to glue the whole thing down now on the Pebble Path base. And the reason we're doing that is it's going to hide those flaps and you won't see it. But also another option would be putting a piece of white on the back if you wanted to write a greeting there, if you didn't want to write it inside. All right, so let's pop this on. And I think the Pebble Path kind of brings it all together too. Isn't this Pebble Path a great colour? It's a new in colour. Came out just in May when they released all the new colours, and I'm using it a lot. I think it's fabulous. In fact, one of the cards that I'm going to show you in just a second one of the cards in this alternates today, I meant to use grey granite, and I actually accidentally in the video used Pebble Path by mistake. So that's not what you want to do. But anyway, all right. So I've got some other cards here I want to show you that I have prepared for this month's tutorials. The tutorials, I don't know if I'm going to get them up tonight, but I do think I'll have them by tomorrow. So this is the first one. Okay, this is using a new stamp set from our upcoming mini catalog. It's called Fragrant Forest. Ugh, I have a great trouble saying this. Fragrant Forest. Anyone else who can do a better job of that than me? Let me know, because I am not very good at saying that. Lots of F's and R's really mess me up. So yeah. All right. So remember what our elements are that we need to think about when we're making a guy card. We need to consider color. We need to consider elements. We need to think about texture and possibly fiber, and then we need to think about metal. Okay. If you put any of those things on a card and have them in the right quantities, it's going to look fabulous. If you have 2 or more, you have just made a fabulous masculine card. Okay, so this one, for example, I've got just a stamp, but I've used some water here to make it, and the video shows you how easy this is to do. I've used water to make it more textured. Okay, a lot more textured than the original stamp, and then I've also added some twine here and wrapped it around to add a bit of fiber to that as well. We've also got some metal elements, so we've really taken the elements at their, and use them the way that I think masculine cards should be used. So yeah, and it's nature, exactly. That's your element. Okay. And then I also have this card here. Actually, what order do I have them in? I think this one was the next one, which is, once again, we have texture. We're using the metal plate 3D embossing folder, and I've used this one I thought would be a good guy card, like for a teenager, or a guy who loves the electric guitar, or or music. And I thought that would work really well. It's actually a pretty simple one, but we've got metal, we've got texture, and we've got some cool elements. Okay, and we've also thought about our colors. You could, if you don't like pretty peacock for a guy, you could always use other colors. So I could have gone black, silver, and something, and anything else. It could have been other colors. I tried to make the guitar pop by making it red. I've actually used blends on my silver foil paper. Then I used also the silver foil paper here in the background for a metal and a textured look to my background. Okay, so you just remember those 4 things. For those of you who say you're struggling with masculine cards, remember those 4 things, and that's what you're going to learn in this class. Okay, as I take you through these particular projects. If you ordered with me last month, you're going to receive this automatically. You're going to get all the tutorials plus all the measurements in a PDF document. Okay. And when you click on the PDF document, when you're viewing the PDF document on your computer, you can click on the video links, and it's going to go to the video tutorials to show you how to make these cards. All the measurements will be in there as well. Your males are not interested in receiving cards. You know what? I have a bit of advice for you there, Lani. Make them anyway, but keep them really simple. Do not go to a lot of trouble if you know that you guys don't appreciate the cards. I remember my my ex-father-in-law didn't really love to receive cards. To him, what's the point of making great cards, because they're just going to end up in the bin. So why would you go to a lot of trouble? So still do it because it's your love language. It's what you like to do, okay? And it's filling a need for you. They still get a card, but don't go to heaps of trouble. Keep them simple. I think, if you wanted to have a 5th rule or a 5th item on the list of items for masculine cards, I would say simplicity. Okay. And, I think it's just the way that is. Some guys just don't have an appreciation for those things. I know my husband really appreciates it because he knows how much work goes into it, and it's something that he does appreciate. But the metal plate, let me quickly show you in the catalog. Okay, the metal plated 3D embossing folder, you're going to find it right up the back. Okay, so just inside the last few pages 168 and 169, there's the metal plate 3D folder. Okay, but we have other folders if that one doesn't do it for you. cane weave would work well for guys. So we want texture that's not, you know, pretty, frilly, flowery. So I would go cane weave. The exposed brick would work. You might get away with the fern. Geometric patterns, merry melody music. Okay, that music would work. The metal plate we've talked about. Painted texture works really well for guys. The stripes and splatters work for guys. Definitely the wood grain. The wood grain is a great choice for masculine cards, and even time-worn type. I used this on a card that I did on a video recently. In fact, some of you may remember it. There's the truck again, and I used the time-worn type in the background to have that bit of texture. Okay, so you can see that there's other things you can do to create texture, depending. It doesn't have to just be a metal plate. It could be other items as well. All right. And this one would be for a guy who likes a tipple. And it just says another round for your birthday. It's a great set called Brewed for You. I borrowed that to do this class today. I borrowed it from my friend Courtney, and thanks to her for letting me use her fabulous set. And then the last card I haven't showed you yet. This is a bridge fold card. Okay, and I used another new set. All right, so the new set that I've used for this one, it's called Forever Forest. Okay, and it's coming up in our new our new mini catalog. It's this one here. No one is surprised that I bought this, right? Because everyone knows I love trees, and I love, you know, outdoor scenes and being able to create scenery kind of stuff. I have lots of ideas of things I'd like to do with this, and this little bridge fold card came together really easily using the stamps and the matching dies. So this here is one of the matching dies, and these trees here are the dies. These stamps have been cut out with the dies, and I also used a circle at the back here to show a moon coming up, and I added some snow to the tops of my mountains. So the birds I borrowed from a different set. I borrowed those from the On the Ocean set because I really, really love them. That's these. Okay, this is another great set for guys. There were so many sets I could have used for the cards this month, and I had a bit of trouble eliminating the ones that I didn't want to use because I wanted to use them all. So here are our cards this month. Okay, this is what it looks like. And we're coming up right on the hour, so we're right on time. Does anyone have any questions? Anything that I can help with or answer any questions before I head off today? Does anyone have any thoughts or ideas? Oh, it is hot, Judy. Goodness me, that is very hot. So remember what your main elements are, and this is what I wanted to teach you today, is when you're thinking about masculine cards, first consider your colors and then your elements, okay? If you get the colors right, the elements don't matter as much, but the elements can make a big difference. So, you know, I've used different themes. I've used a music theme here. I've used outdoors here. I've used beverages here and another outdoors one here. Okay, so there were so many things in the trucks, of course. There's so many things that we could have done with these cards today, but I had to limit it down to just 5. The next thing, the third thing was texture and subcategory fiber. And then the last thing is metal, okay? If you can combine a few of those or even all 4 on a card, you're going to have a great masculine card. And that's what I wanted to show you and share with you today. Nicole asked how to turn the truck into a ute. Let me have a think about that. I mean, this could be a ute. Absolutely, it could be. Oh, good, Susan. I'm so happy. That's really, really great. I've never struggled with masculine cards, and I think because I've always combined those things, I found them very easy. And if you do combine those things, I think you're going to find masculine cards easy too. So if you're someone who's always struggled with them, then it's going to be a great way for you to move forward. And I'm going to switch back away from the desk now and switch back to me because I'm going to say bye-bye. But just before I do, if you're in Australia and you're not part of my private Stampin' VIP group, I'm going to put the banner up on the screen so that you can find it. This is that's the name of my private VIP group. Okay, Linda Doggy's Private Stamp and VIP group. If you search for that on Facebook and you're in Australia, you just have to answer a couple of questions and I'll have you join the group. That way you see when I'm doing new things locally. One of the things that I'm doing in the next week is I'm having a BOGO sale. Okay, so I'm getting out all my retired stock. I'm still part way through organizing and sorting it all. The idea is that I'm going to have the various sets that are available up for grabs this coming week. The question is, am I going to have it started by Tuesday or Wednesday? I'm not sure yet, so I haven't announced the date yet, only because I'm not sure if I'm going to be ready by Tuesday. If I'm ready by the end of Monday, then Tuesday will be the day that I go live with this. But I just don't know if I'm going to make it or not. It could end up being Wednesday. The whole point is, if you see something in there you like, just say, for example, there's a bundle and it's a $90 bundle and you think, oh, I love that. I missed it when it was available. I'd like to get it. So you reach out to me, you tell me that you want the bundle, okay, and then I send you to the online store where you place an order for current product that is the same value, so a $90 order, and then I send you, you get that stuff that you've just ordered, of course, and I send you the retired stuff for free in addition to the stuff that you just ordered. So it's basically buy one, get one free. So you buy the things current price using your credit card or however you would normally pay online, and then you get sent the items that I have in my retired stock that you have selected in your mailbox. And that includes that will include your postage price as well. So I'll be sending all those out. I'm excited to do this. I haven't done a BOGO for a couple of years now. I did do one a couple of years ago and we only did a day and it was crazy. I'm hoping this year to do at least 2 days, if not 3. So the reason I'm doing that is because I need to move a ton of stuff. And I think it's great. It's a great way for you guys to be part of that. So there we go. I'll take that down. But just remember, you need to be in the private stamp and VIP group to see it all. Okay, so you do want to go and join the group if you're not already. All right, let me take that down. Does anyone have any questions at all before I go through? Okay, you'd like a heat gun. Yeah, paint strippers don't cut it. Okay, Jamie, you really want don't use a paint stripper. It's too hot, and you can't use a hairdryer because it's going to blow your embossing powder everywhere. So you actually do need a really good heat gun. We do have a great heat gun in our catalogue, and I've been using mine now for years. It's got a plastic protector to make it a little bit harder for you to burn yourself. Super good. So did I miss any other questions? Did I? Good point, Nicole. You could do something with the back section to make it more like a ute and less like a truck. That's okay. You're very welcome. If you missed the beginning of the video, go back and watch. That's completely fine. And I'm just going to, oh, you saw it made into a semi. That's a cool idea. What a great idea. I didn't think of that, but I can see how you might be able to do that. You're very welcome, Judy, and lovely to have you with us. Okay, so if anyone has any questions about the BOGO sale, or if you're not part of the Facebook group, get yourself over there, request to join, and I'll be, I just need to make sure that you're in Australia, because obviously when I'm offering these kinds of things, you can only order from me if you're in Australia. So I'm sorry to all, I wish I could have everyone from everywhere, but unfortunately that's not part of the deal. So I'm so sorry. Oh, that's okay, Jamie. You can go back and watch the beginning whenever it suits you. All right. I hope everyone is well, that you stay not too hot if you're in the US and not too cold if you're here in Australia. And I'll be back tomorrow night, Sunday night, for my regular Sunday night video. Also, last night we did some fun stuff, and I also had a video hop that I was part of last night. So there's lots on the channel at the moment. I hope you're having a great weekend, guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.